So good evening. It's Thursday, February 18th. Hard to believe we're halfway through the month of February. For those of us who have been through some tough weather the last couple of days, we're thinking about those of you in Texas and anybody else in the South. It's finally, as we said at one of my calls last week, understanding what cold weather is. For the rest of us are like, okay, so this is Sue Peterson from the Michigan District of Kiwanis, and we are actually being hosted tonight in Indianapolis, Indiana. I actually traveled down to spend a week or so with my mom so that I could come down to Indianapolis and double snow at the same time, right? Might as well do it all. So we are very excited to have with us today Cathy. Cathy is a public speaker, writer, laughter yoga teacher. We got to figure that one out. Photographer and general practice attorney. She is the oldest of 9 children and lives in Butte, Montana, where she is near her extended family of 35, including 15 nieces and nephews. We talked a little bit earlier about how many, I have one of 7, how many grandkids and nieces and nephews in there around, but she earned her undergraduate degree in English cum laude from the St. Mary College in Leavenworth, Kansas. All right, Warren, she's with you. And her law degree cum laude from Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska. So our Nebraska, Iowa fans will be happy. She was selected to be in the Attorney General's Honor Program at the U.S. Department of Justice upon graduation, and she has been a Special Assistant U.S. Attorney where she prosecuted crimes that occurred in the prisons of Washington, D.C. She currently manages a family and elder care estate law practice. Cathy is a distinguished president and serves currently as the governor of the Montana District of Kiwanis and president of her class of governors for Kiwanis International. She has been asked to present at international meetings of Kiwanis and has provided training to thousands of members worldwide. She manages a variety of activities for children through her roles with the County Parks and Recreation Board, high school volleyball announcer, and pole vault judge, the Irish Festival Kids activities, to name just a few. So like many of us, has a full calendar. She is globally recognized for her innovative and engaging training and facilitation of groups from 10 to 1,000. So for more than 30 years, she has been tapped to provide inspiration and education to local, district, and international service groups. Cathy is here with us tonight to talk to us about finding your why. So Cathy, welcome to Kiwanis Let's Talk. It's great to have you with us tonight. For those of you that are joining us, feel free to put your questions in chat, questions and answers, and we'll take those at the end of the program or throughout. Cathy has access to the chat, so if something comes up, she can do it well. So with that, Governor Cathy, excuse me, it's all yours.
Thank you, Madam President. Appreciate it. I am going to start with a little video, and I'm going to ask you to, I just got this video and it's just too perfect not to show you. So I'm going to invite you to think why for both the people involved in this video, and you can put your comments in the chat.
I need you to please exit the refrigerator. Ma'am, quit resisting. Get out of the refrigerator, ma'am. You are resisting arrest. Ma'am, please exit the refrigerator. No, ma'am, you need to exit now.
Oh, wait, not seeing the video?
We're seeing your green screen, your background, but no video.
Oh, that's not good. Let's try that again then. So, oh, I picked the wrong screen. That's why.
Hey, we all do that.
Wrong screen. Are we ready?
We're ready.
I'm going to try it again. How's that?
Perfect.
Please exit the refrigerator. Ma'am, quit resisting. Get out of the refrigerator, ma'am. You are resisting arrest. Ma'am, please exit the refrigerator. No, ma'am, you need to exit now. We don't have time for this. Exit the refrigerator. Ma'am, you're resisting arrest. You need to go. Get out. Get out now. You're resisting arrest. Get out. Go. Excuse me? You go. What did you say to me? All right, that's it. I'm going hands on.
So Comments. What was their why? Why was he saying what he was saying? There has to be a parent out there somewhere. Who's the boss? Yep. It isn't safe. No why for her to exit. How did you know what she was thinking? You couldn't understand a word she was saying, right? Anybody could understand that? It's okay if you could. I want to be here. Oh, she was quite clear, right? She was quite clear because for her, all there was where I am. And if he moved one way, she moved the same way, right? Yep, mimicking what he was doing. So how many of you could see yourself as dad? She may have been into the jam jar. When he said go, I was a little concerned that she may have actually tried to go in the refrigerator. Dad mode. I may have sat down with her. I'm pretty sure that the people in Texas right now would not have sat down with her. All right, so we've got a few hands that got raised, right? So no matter what we're doing, there's always a why. There's why you get up in the morning. There's why you take a shower. There's why you brush your teeth. And for a lot of us, and this is where I really wish we had some interactive stuff, but we'll make it work. There's why do we build a Kiwanis club? Why do we need a new Kiwanis club? Why do we need a new Kiwanian in our club? And for the most part, the presentations that we're used to are the ones where we talk about how to do it. We talk about what to do. Very, very, very infrequently do we talk about why. And one of the most important things for all of us to discover for ourselves and to be straight about is what our why might be. There are a couple of books by a guy by the name of Simon Sinek. Simon also did a TED Talk that some of you may be familiar with. And I'm not going to try and imitate what Simon Sinek does because I'm not Simon Sinek. He's British. He's younger. He was born near Wimbledon. I'm Irish. I'm a little older. And I live in Butte, Montana. So Simon Sinek, and at the end of this, you'll get a handout that Sue will send to you with most of the quotes that I've included in this. But Simon Sinek talks about what the most important thing for us to do is, and that is to identify our why. So if you look at the screen, you'll see what he calls the golden circle. Why? Our purpose or our motivation. How? What's the process? And what is the product? Now, all of us could tell you what the product is for Kiwanis, right? Service leadership programs, improving the world one child, one community at a time. We can tell you the process. But in how many instances do we actually identify the why? How many times do we actually sit down and talk with the people we're working with about the process we're going to follow and the product we're going to develop and talk about why? So if you're someone who's done a why process before you started building a new club or before you started a membership drive or before you took on a project, just put a comment, me or something in the chat so that I can get an idea of how many of you actually have done something like that. I'm watching the chat. So Larry, I'm going to invite you and everyone, if you, I don't know if you probably can't see Larry's response, but encourage diversity within our membership. Clubs in time develop a personality that reflects their membership. If there's a choice of club in the area, it allows potential members to make an informed decision about the club they join. 2 or more clubs in an area can cooperate on large projects, can socialize, but retain their separate identities. A standalone club is free to choose what charities and projects they support, how and when they run meetings. Multiple clubs increase the amount of community service performed and increases the number of children being helped. So those are all really good, but those are results. What's the why? Why do you care if there are two clubs? Why do you care if there are more opportunities for service? Right, Greg, what you said, Greg, is pretty much how it is, right? We're supposed to, according to the number of new clubs we're assigned to add. Like, we get a number and it says, this is how many you should have. And so we go and do that. I want to show you my why. And I suspect that all of you have whys. Sure, kids need us, but for what? So, hang on, it's doing something weird to me. Here we go. There's my why. There's those relatives that Sue talked about when she introduced me. Every single person in that picture is either a direct blood relative or married to a blood relative. And you can probably tell which ones are blood relatives. They're the ones with red hair. That's my why. Why is we're way more interested in why when we're emotional about it. We're way more interested in why when we can get very, very interested in it. We're way more interested in why when somebody wants to listen to us talk about it because they get so excited. See those kids? Those kids are the why. They're all the kids that got the Bringing Up Grades Award from Whittier School here in Butte, Montana. That's the why. So how do you get to why? There's an expression that I've used a lot in other venues of training where I talk about context. What is the context for what we're doing? What is our purpose? What is the context? The context is decisive. The context determines whether or not what we're doing is going to make the impact that we're committed to. So I'm sure that there are 1 or 2 of you who drink beverages. True? 1 or 2? So I'm going to ask you a question. If I served you a beer in this, would you rather drink it in this or this? If I was going to serve you juice, would you rather I gave it to you in a small Welch's grape juice cup or a plastic cup? If I was going to serve you a glass of wine, do you want it in a green plastic cup? Or would you rather have a nice small wine glass? I know the answer for some of you. See, the content is the same. The context is what makes the difference. And if the context is decisive, then what is your context? What is your bottle will do? Sorry, Gary, I can't give you the bottle. What is your bottom line? This is what I really want. Now, there are lots of, if you served me a beer in this when I was 18 years old out at a kegger, no problem, I'll drink it. Even if you served me when I was in college in a juice glass, I would take it. But now we go to distilleries and they have different glasses for every kind of beer that they serve. So some might give you a frosted mug. Some might give you a shaped glass. And what kind of beer you drink depends on what kind of cup you get. But the context, the cup, what carries the result is what makes the difference. And the fuzziest thing and the hardest thing and the strangest thing for us to try and figure out is the context. So I'd like a couple of you just to, in the chat, identify for us, as far down as you can drill, what's the context for why you're in Kiwanis? And help the kids is great, but why? What difference will it make? Pay it forward, good. They are the future. Access to what? Makes you feel good. Books, okay. Changes lives. Humility. Cathy, can you say a little bit more about the humility part? Networking. A rising tide lifts all ships, okay. Oh, books of their own, okay, good. Building a better community. New friendships. So now, here's the trick question. You could do all of these things by going to happy hour. You could do them by volunteering at your school or being part of the PTA. Why Kiwanis? Grew up with little. If we all just help one, how will the world be? Because I was helped. Why Kiwanis? Okay, Gary, great. First Kiwanis moment. So how many, there can't be anybody on this call, I wouldn't imagine, who doesn't have a Kiwanis moment. My guess is that your Kiwanis moment changed everything for you. How many of you share your Kiwanis moment?
Cathy, if you want, we can open up some of their mics for them if you want to do that.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Jerry, Greg, Jim. Okay, if we're gonna open your mic though, we gotta see you. It's okay, Greg.
All right. Where is it?
So again, I'm going to ask why Kiwanis, because lots of things can help you build something bigger than yourself. Why Kiwanis? Tony, you got an answer for me?
Why Kiwanis? The only reason is because I was asked to join Kiwanis. None of the other organisations did after years of serving the community.
Perfect.
Why Kiwanis? Children.
Yeah. It is kids, isn't it? Brad Boyd.
Dream.
Sorry, Tony, you weren't finished.
That's all right. Just energising the dream that all children will be happy, healthy, safe and loved.
Exactly, right? Gee, let me guess who you were a governor under.
What a surprise.
Brad Boyd.
Yes. For me, the why is, as a former key clubber in CKI, member way back in the day, is the SLP programs, because to me it's a ripple effect. So I see directly how the little kids in our K-Kids program collected 600 diapers and formula for the battered home for children, for women and children. And if we let them down, if we don't bolster our membership, then we're not going to be able to support as many SLPs. I can't imagine deciding which one we're going to vote off the island first or whatever. And then that's going to have a ripple effect that means that the Day Spring Center isn't going to get all the formula and diapers. The Children's Bureau is not going to get the 500 books that the kids from the Montessori School Builders Club gave them and that sort of thing. So to me, that's that domino effect that we just can't let happen.
Gotcha. Cathy.
We have a thrift sale, and on the bus, there was a girl, a young lady. She was probably about 14. She was on her way to a job interview. Her coat, this was the middle of winter, her coat was held together by duct tape. So I took her over to the thrift sale, which was only a couple blocks away at that time, got her a new coat. So that helped her self-esteem. She was able to get a job, and it made a big difference.
Great. That's great.
I like working with the SLP programs, but particularly Key Leader. Those weekends are great with the high school age students. I teach involved with that, but also teach them at church. So that's kind of the field that I really enjoy.
That's great. Thanks, David. Who else? Roger, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes, I had,
Okay, Roger, go ahead.
I put in the chat that Kiwanis changed my life, and it did, because it gave me a different focus of saying that there are other people, and I have the ability to help them. So that was, very simple, but it's true. When we understand that we have the ability to help other people, it allows us to get together with a group of people that are like-minded Kiwanians and bringing change to the lives of others.
That's great. Thanks, Roger. Lanton, I think I cut you off.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So I'm on a brand new laptop, so I just got it set up tonight. So I'll share mine is very similar to Brad's, except for I'm not quite as long ago as he is. Key Club and Circle K alum. The only reason that I sought out a Kiwanis Club when I graduated from graduate school, because I felt an obligation to join Kiwanis in 1989, because I wanted to make sure students were given the same opportunities I was as a high school and college student to develop my leadership skills through service. And that's the only, it's the only reason I'm still in Kiwanis today, is because of those programs.
That's great. It's great. Thanks, Lanton. Who else would like to share? Right? If you raise your hand, I can see you.
Kathy, in the chat, Barbara has noted that Kiwanis has a tradition of teaching new skills to new people of all ages. It's not hands-on, it is hands-on, not just raising money.
Very good. How many of you know people who participate in Kiwanis for recognition?
Not too many.
Leaders don't look for recognition from others. Leaders look for others to recognize. Gail, go ahead. You had your hand up.
I did. So I joined Kiwanis just because, like most of us, someone asked me. I actually started doing a service project before I was officially inducted. Within my first week, I was working with my now club members. I love the service aspect, but someone said something years ago that just really resonated with me, and that's that my Kiwanis Club members are my family members, and Kiwanis always has your back. So you can always count on Kiwanians to step up and help another club member or the community members themselves.
Great. Thanks, Gail. Susie, you're next.
I joined Kiwanis because besides being for children, it's the only club that I actually know that they recognize the Down syndrome. And the Action Club, they're done at the ISD schools when they're 27. They have nowhere else to go, really. And the Kiwanis come in and make them feel their self-worth. They go out in the community and they feel they have a job. They feel they're loved, they're wanted, and it builds their self-esteem. That's a beautiful thing for a club to do, really and truthfully. You don't see that. And with the shoe program, the Action Club's able to bag shoes, and they know that it's doing tetanus for babies in other countries. It's giving shoes in Haiti so that moms can feed their children, because we have everything here. But the Kiwanis heart to actually have Action Clubs and to work with the special needs like they do is a beautiful program.
It's great. Great. Thanks, Susie. Linda Lothar, you're up.
Hey, Kathy, so glad you're with us tonight. I really was going to put a concentration pointer on the Action Club as well, so I'm glad that Susie did. Yeah, the one thing about Kiwanis is that we realize that everybody has an innate need to give back to others. And when we give others the opportunity to do that, we exponentially expand the opportunity that we have. And in particular with Action Clubs, these young to old adults who may have different challenges or special abilities, giving them the opportunity to lead, to do service, and to give back to a community in the way that they like to do is amazing. And that's of particular interest.
That's great. Thanks, Linda. Gary.
Well, I guess the biggest thing is I was asked, but I was asked 4 times. I turned him down 3 times. On the 4th time, I told him, all right, I'll come and do a service project with you. And he made sure I got involved. And then I started getting the rewards from helping. That was the biggest thing, I guess, when I mentioned earlier, the Kiwanis moment, is when some kid thinks you're their hero and tell you that, write about you. It really, you get that moment where, and feeling that you are actually making a difference in the future.
Yeah, that's great. That's really great, Gary. Thank you. So this actually gets back to one of the things that we suggest that everybody does, and that's either or both a community survey and a member survey. And one of the things that I think is most important about doing those surveys is the quote that you see on the screen right now. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Now, there are people out there, believe it or not, who don't care about kids. They just want them off their lawn. And those people are probably not good people to have in Kiwanis. But in my experience, they're few and far between. So when we talk about our why, when we talk about why Kiwanis, I think one of the most important things for all of us is to identify what are the values I have. Now, this is the fuzzy stuff. What are the values I have that matter to me the most, that would make me want to get up in the morning and come and go do something that has me come alive? What are the values that make a difference in my life that I want to be known for? Is it the plaques on the wall? I know how to do that. I can help you do that. Is it the number of people that you bring to a Kiwanis club? We all know how to do that. Is it the number of clubs that you form? We all know how to do that. For me, it's the number of kids, those little teeny tiny ones, the goofy ones, the troublemakers, the ones with duct tape on their winter coats. Those are the ones that we want to impact, right?
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Because when we make leaders of them, we make leaders for our future. And in spite of what somebody further up said, it's not that the kids are our future, the kids are our now. You don't have to look too far to see the students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. They were 15, 16 when they started, and they're now the ones that are on the front lines. The kids that are starting the masks, making masks, or making lemonade and selling it, or scraping the cars. We have kids here who have gone to the hospitals, and our shifts change at 7 o'clock. So they go to the hospital at 6 o'clock and they clear the snow off the cars of the people who are going to be getting off work. Kids started that, not adults. There are now. So what can we do to encourage that now? What can you and I do to encourage that now? Because each and every one of you is unique in what you can contribute. And so are all the people on your board, and so are all the people in your clubs. So what are the unique things, and I'm going to be looking for hands, or I'm going to start calling on people. What are the unique things that you can contribute? What are the values that you stand on that you want to contribute to your community, that you would say would have people following you? Because leaders aren't the ones who say the most. Leaders are the ones who create a path that others want to follow. Susie, go ahead. Got to unmute yourself.
With the pandemic like it is, I actually took a few of my Action Club members to the Lion's Den, because the Lion's Den is much older people. They couldn't bring the stuff in from outside and actually sort it and stuff. And that really made them feel appreciated, and they understood that with what was going on, it was a difficult time. And the Lion's Den is very good to always help us Kiwanians. So it was time to give back to them. And with the mask thing, some of them could sew good, some couldn't. We were doing masks and dropping them off at Stewart Road to the Cancer Center because they needed masks bad. And that was something that the Action Club could do. Some of the white ones, they decorated and stuff, but they were involved, and it made them feel important with the epidemic like it was, that you couldn't go anywhere and you couldn't do anything. So it made me feel good that they were giving back, and they were understanding that people older could not do things anymore because they had to stay home to be safe. But they could take and they could do things to help the older people. And I thought that was beautiful.
So why does that matter to you?
Because our older generation become children too. And we need to remember that, and we need to help them as much as we can. Not just the teeny little children. Our seniors become a child again. They need our help. And for the Action Club to be able to go out, and we took bagged stuff, fruit and other stuff, and dropped off so they didn't have to come out. And that was a beautiful thing.
So if that's not what you were doing, so I'm going to ask you again, why does that matter to you?
Because we need the older people. We need the information they have. They are our glue. They are our encyclopedias in everything in every one of our clubs. Without them, we lose a lot.
What do you lose?
Your TV's turned on. Sorry.
It's okay.
This TV's turned on.
Besides your hearing.
With the pandemic, our older people could not really come out.
I got you, but why does that matter to you? Because it doesn't matter to everybody.
Because they are the path that taught me and was there for me when I was younger. So in turn, out of love and compassion, as a Kiwanian, we care about the children, and we also care about the senior that becomes a child again.
Yep. It's really great.
It's compassion. It's love.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And they are our encyclopedias. They have so much information. Without them, we don't have all of that.
Right.
They're our guides. So we have to take care of them and think of them also.
So I'm going to back you up because Susie, what you said is it's compassion and it's love.
It is.
And that's your why.
Yes.
Thank you. Eric.
I just wanted to keep it short. I'm at a bowling center, so there's a bunch of background noise, but
Perfect.
to keep it simple, I work for Smiles.
Awesome.
On the kids, the Action Club. Got a kid doing community service right now, and he seems to be in a good mood. So
That's
just
great.
wanted to say
I just heard the pins fall, so somebody must have hit a couple of them.
that. Sorry, I'll mute.
Oh, no, it's great. I love it. I haven't been at a bowling alley for a while. Ours just reopened this week, so.
Okay, thanks for
That's
letting me
great.
share.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you. Who else? What's your why? Gary.
Because as I put in the comments section, it affirms my humanity. It gives me a reason for being, is to give back. Yeah, it's not all wrapped up in me. It's wrapped up in what I can give.
Why does that matter?
It's a purpose for living. It's you've got to be able to affirm yourself through service to others. It's I know you said it's not the future, and it is now, but the now, the future, it starts with the now. And if I can leave something, you always hear you can't take anything with you when you go. Is what you leave behind that matters. And this is what I'm trying to leave behind.
That's great. Awesome, Gary. Thanks. Anybody else? I see some of the comments that you guys are making, and what I'd invite you to consider is that not everybody thinks the way that you do. And if you drill down, I suspect that underneath it all, you will find that what's underneath it all is that you love people. Because if you didn't love people, you wouldn't be working on projects to support people. You might be engineering something. You might be cleaning out at the Metro sewer. But you wouldn't be putting yourself in front of kids and adults and people and elderly that have become kids on a daily or hourly or even minute by minute basis. Gail.
Okay, I have a lot, I guess I could say, but I will just say that the look of love or gratitude or joy in someone's eyes when you've done something for them just really warms my heart. And I do it, and it hasn't happened for a year, but I also do it for the hugs that that not only you get, but that you get to give, because they just, for me, that's my why. I just love that.
Great. And even if you don't get those hugs or those smiles, it's not going to stop you from doing it, is it?
Nope, not at all. No, it's that look that you get. Even if you have that look over Zoom, or when we go to an Action Club meeting and I just see the joy on everybody's faces and the excitement. I love it.
Great. So I'm going to show you a couple more quotes here. Again, Sue will be sending this out so all of you will get it, but these three actually kind of touch on the things that we've been talking about. Someone mentioned networking as part of why they joined Kiwanis. The value of networking, this is Simon Sinek again, is not measured by the number of people we meet, but by the number of people we introduce to others. The art of leadership is about inspiring people to build something, not threatening to break something. We've all worked for someone who threatened to break something. What are we building with the people that are participating with us? And then something that we say, be the leader you wish you had. We've said that before, right? That's part of being a Kiwanian, is be the leader that you wish you'd had when you were the age of the kids that you're working with. Brad, please.
Oh, I was just going to share one of my favorite books is entitled We Give to Love. And the whole premise of it is that giving is a selfish act and that we get so much more in return than we do out of giving it. So it just always has stuck with me that that's a very interesting way of looking at giving to others.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, if what you're out for is to make a difference and it's not making a difference for you, you're probably not making a difference.
Right.
This kind of goes along with that. Leadership is not a rank or a position. It is a choice to look after the person to the left of us and the person to the right of us. And we all have that opportunity. Is it our why? Is it your why? Or is the why something else? Get all you want in life if you help. Yeah, exactly. You get all you will get all you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. Yeah, Zig Ziglar and Og Mandino are both pretty great writers. Alicia, I'll read it again. And again, Sue will send this out to you so you'll see it. And what it said is leadership is not a rank or a position. It is a choice to look after the person to the left of us and the person to the right of us. And that would include those people that Susie's talking about. And it would include those kids that Gail's talking about. And it would include the people who need masks or their sidewalks shoveled. And the people that you haven't asked yet to become a part of Kiwanis. So questions, yeah, buts, what about? I know Dawn and Fran usually have something to say. I'm surprised they're as quiet.
Been to too many meetings today.
You can't use that excuse. I've probably been to as many.
I'm sure you have.
Dawn, what you got?
Well, you know, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I go back to when I was growing up. I always had adults that led me along the way, and when I got out of the service, a guy asked me to join Kiwanis, and then the first group I worked with for 5 years as a Special Olympics coach, and they taught me the meaning of love. They get along. The way they take care of each other is amazing to me.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a Key Club advisor, you know, I like to see young people grow. And what I try to bring after my 30 years in the Army is some discipline. We've got a lot of undisciplined people in this world, unfortunately. And I don't mean I teach them how to march and all that stuff, but we talk after a project. How did we do this? How can we do it better? And I've got kids now from 14 years ago that still write me for job references and stuff. So I do it because of them.
That's great. That's great, Don. Thanks. Gail, we'll miss seeing you to the end. Thanks for being here. So, yes.
So we have, you know, I have my why I'm in Kiwanis and you know what it means to me. So how can you how do you start talking to somebody about their why related to, joining Kiwanis or becoming, joining us for a project or something like that? I mean, how do you dive into that subject?
So I just typed in the chat a really simple formula for finding your why statement. And I hate formulas, but it works. So why should be pretty simple and straightforward, right? It should be clear, and it should be something that you can be in action about. So why do I do what I do? I do it to bring people to an awareness of the light and the joy of life, so that we can resolve everything from a fight in the playground to peace on earth. Is that something you'd be interested in? And that's how you start.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. My why: to inspire so that we can do this together. To empower and educate people so that they can improve their lives. And you can write as many of those as you want, and at some point, one of them will land and it will hit, like when you hit the combination on a lock. Why? I do it to inspire and to bring glee so that we can accomplish things together. Other questions, thoughts? Yeah, buts. No hands. Okay. I am going to give you my last quote. It is my favorite quote in the world. It is from Martha Graham, who some of you may know as an American dance instructor and a dancer herself. I mean, pretty fantastic person, right? And I want you to realize each and every one of you has something to contribute underneath all of the, this is what I'm supposed to do, or this is how we do this. You have something underneath that gets to what Susie said. It's about love. And what Martha Graham said is, there is a vitality, a life force, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And there is only one of you in all time. This expression is unique, and if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium, and it will be lost. The world will not have it. It is not your business to determine how good it is, not how it compares with other expressions. It is your business to keep it yours, clearly and directly, to keep the channel open. You are a contributor. You make a difference. You are the reason that kids of every age in your community get to have what Kiwanis provides. And you and I both know there are more people out there who would love to join us and more kids who would benefit from us. Start with your why. To do X so that Y.
Well, Cathy, wonderful, 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 wonderful. I think there's a lot for us to think about tonight, and I will make sure that everybody that's attended tonight receives the quotes, as well as once we're done here, I'll put the PowerPoint or the presentation up on our Facebook page, as well as on our YouTube page, so people can go back and listen. I think it's important for people to listen as you continue to say, what is your why? 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 And I think when we do things, a lot of times we need to get to that point where we keep asking why. Why, and drill it down to what's underneath everything.
Yeah, it's really easy to say because of the kids, right? I mean, that's what's in the picture behind me, right? Why do we do this? Because we have SLPs. because we can take kids to Key Leader, because we can build playgrounds, whatever provide books, give socks. But it's not enough to say we can do this in Kiwanis to inspire others. What inspires others is why? Why do we do it? Because I have friends who are as big-hearted as I am, as generous as I am, who go home at night and sit in front of the TV with their families and watch a movie. Now, that's what's important to them. I don't have any say in what their values are. And when we're willing to keep asking that question, okay, but why does that matter? And why does that matter? And why does that matter? Then eventually, you know, why does your mom bake cookies? Why does she give them to everybody? Why haven't I gotten any yet? You know, like, but I'm kidding. But you know, that as long as we're willing to keep asking that question, we can keep peeling back whatever it is that has us stay. You know, Gail had shared that she worked on a project before she joined. I attended a meeting of the local club, and I had to actually ask the current president of the club if I could go to lunch with her, because I'd been kind of hinting at that I wanted to get involved, and she never asked me to lunch. So I said, hey, can I go to lunch with you today? Well, I have Kiwanis. And I said, I know, can I go to Kiwanis with you? And she said, sure. And nobody at the club asked me to join. And on the way back to the office, she didn't ask me to join. And for the next week in the office, she didn't ask me to join. And the next week I said, can I pay for lunch if I go to lunch today? And she said, yes. So I went to lunch and I paid for lunch and nobody asked me to join. And I went back to my office and she came by and she said, what'd you think today? And I said, I think it's weird that none of you guys asked me to join. And she said, oh, do you want to join? I said, too late. And the next day I got a call from the secretary of the club wanting to know if I'd be willing to be the vice president. Now, I'm that crazy person who says, yeah, I'll do that. But there are a lot of people out there that are just waiting for us to ask. And if we know our why, asking is easy.
That's
why
right.
For me? Why? I'll show you why. Looks like this. Or it looks like this. Or it looks like this. It's all about those kids. It's always been about the kids. Why? Because I'm a kid myself.
Very good. Very good. And we're kids.
Yeah.
We're kids. We really are.
Yeah. If we were at a live meeting, I don't know how many of you have ever been in a training with me, but I'd be throwing prizes at you as you answered questions and handing out gold medals to you when we finish. And yes, I do get them at the dollar store, but you know, how many places can you go and get a gold medal?
That's right.
And we play the Olympic theme as you're leaving. So there you go.
There you go. Very good.
You're right, Jerry. Many layers: laugh, love, and cry. You got it, man.
Right. So that's why we do what we do.
That's exactly why.
That's why we do what we do. So Cathy, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We'll have to bring you back.
Thank you so much for having me. I love it.
Yep.
I wish I could have interacted more with you guys, but
well,
I really
you know,
as
I continue to learn about Zoom, we'll figure out what we got to do, right?
You and me both.
After 38 of these, I'd figure it out, but you know, they keep updating the system too. So I want to remind everybody that next week we have Jennifer from the California, Nevada, Hawaii Foundation, the Kiwanis Children's Fund. Their foundation is going to talk about injuries and no accident, their pediatric trauma program. On March 4th, John Griffith, who we've talked about before, who is part of Marquis, who is the team that produces our conventions. And he is going to talk about events in the virtual world. And then on March 11th, Shandy Longcore, who's a resident here in Michigan, who was as a youngster, tried to commit suicide and failed. And she's going to talk about the power of one and the changes that has had on her. So some great programs coming up. We're still booking, as I said, we're booking into October at this point. So if you have any other suggestions or ideas, we welcome them. With that, I will wish everyone a great evening. Cathy, thank you so much. Great, lots to think about, lots of tips and reminders, and let's all develop our why statement. What is our why statement? And let's share them on Facebook. I think that would truly
that'd be great.
Have an impact. It's like, why? Peel that onion back, as everybody says. Let's figure out our why and what is your why? And I would love for you to share them on Facebook, and we'll share them around everywhere. We might as well, help everybody out along the way. So thanks everybody for being with us. Have a great evening. Stay warm. For those of you that are without power or without or suffering from cold, please take care of yourself. We're thinking about you. And if there's any way that we can help our family, our Kiwanis family, please feel free to connect with us. With that, we'll call it an evening. And I will go ahead and stop our recording, and we'll hang on to see if anybody has anything else to say. So thanks, everyone.